Good morning, dear friends in the Dharma. Did you notice if you woke up on breathing in or breathing out? Or somewhere in the middle? It's another day. The sun line has come and passed. I believe it's the 11th of June 2020. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, actually a suburb of Portland, Beaverton. There was a beaver here in Beaverton as recently as 2015, I'm told. Probably more since then. That's not a kind thing to say, but there are some beautiful wetlands to the west of my home. So, we're alive again. We have an opportunity to use our precious human births to bring love into the world, to short-circuit the selfishness and greed and ignorance that come with us along with our birth, and to cultivate our higher potentials. This little reading this morning is... I have many favorites, but this is one. I've read this probably, I'm sure I have, more times than any other of my collection, in that I think of it as kind of a founding document of the Portland Insight Meditation community. And it goes like this. It's by that great saint of the 20th century, Mr. Rogers, who, the more I learn about him, the more I realize his dedication to children and to kindness and love was vast. It was amazing. A friend of mine visited a beautiful monastery where a dozen monks, most of whom were in their 70s and 80s, were living. This is a place where once 60 to 70 men spent their lives studying and following a rule of very strict living, praying together 7 times a day, 7 days a week. They worked hard and were successful. My friend asked one of the monks why he felt that over the years the community had dwindled from 60 to 12. His reply was, "We did everything right. And somewhere in all that successful praying and work and living, we lost the most important thing of all. The thing that was so contagious and attracted people to us. We lost the naked love. Little by little, the success replaced the love. Oh, sure, you can have love and success, but the love has to remain first, always first. Natural, affirming, inclusive, naked love. Love and success, always in that order. It's that simple. And it's that difficult." A friend of mine visited a beautiful monastery where a dozen monks, most of whom were in their 70s and 80s, were living. This is a place where once 60 to 70 men spent their lives studying and following a rule of very strict living, praying together 7 times a day, 7 days a week. They worked hard and they were successful. My friend asked one of the monks why he felt that over the years the community had dwindled from 60 to 12. His reply was, "We did everything right, and somewhere in all that successful praying and work and living, we lost the most important thing of all. The thing that was so contagious and attracted people to us. We lost the naked love. Little by little, the success replaced the love. Oh, sure, you can have love and success, but the love has to remain first, always first. Natural, affirming, inclusive, naked love. Love and success, always in that order. It's that simple, and it's that difficult." So how to practice being loving? If we take Ajahn Sumedho's simple, beautiful definition of love, yep, it's a bit tight in here. There we go. If love means there is room for everything, then we don't have to demand the world be a special way. It's our relationship to the world that is loving. Yesterday I focused on impermanence. The strings of the sounds of the guitar are a marvelous teacher of that impermanence. They come out of nowhere. Then they disappear. So, where can we take refuge in the midst of this utterly, completely, endlessly changing world? I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. So how would we practice? In the recognition that the naked love, the observable, unvarnished, simple, utter acceptance were our journey, our vehicle, our product, our direction. If we say someday when things are better, someday when I have a partner or don't have a partner, or someday when the kids are gone or when the kid finally comes, Someday when the political situation is improved, then I will be loving, then I will relax enough to love. Or we recognize that there is only this moment, now, ever. And perhaps we aspire. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. I aspire to love and accept life exactly as it is. Doesn't mean we won't move, we won't act to change things. But we won't be driven to act. The tone of our actions will be rooted in the well-being of all beings. And so there's breathing, our old friend, the breath. Perhaps our oldest friend, the breath. Notice how it doesn't exist, and then it does. And it's possible to climb into the breath as one might a hammock on a beautiful sunny afternoon. To simply rest. There may be thoughts. There may be impulses to act. There may be something troubling you. some decision you have to make, or perhaps just the situation in the world, or situation with a family member. For this time, it's really okay to let go of it. Dissolving from your sense of I, the I am that has a name attached to it and a story. And dissolving into that sense of simply being, that awareness in which everything occurs. Breathing in and breathing out. In bringing love to our practice, one of its synonyms is radical acceptance. This moment is actually just like this, exactly as it is. To take the healing, to accept the healing we took birth for. in the beautiful words of Stephen Levine, to accept the healing we took birth for. We must inhabit this moment exactly as it is. To get a good diagnosis of the problem, we must accept the moment as it is. So when you can, coming home to your training object, breathing in and breathing out. In loving life, which doesn't mean we always like it. Liking and disliking come and go. They're inherent in every experience. But in embracing life, we become more and more intimate with the body that sits here. We really awaken to the fact of the wandering mind and its contents, to the emotions, to where the emotions live in the body. We become acutely aware of things beginning and ending. What occurs now arises from the conditioning of our past. The conditioning that includes the body that we were born into, the experiences it has had, the trauma we've experienced, the healing we've experienced, the thoughts and speech and actions we have perpetrated and experienced. This moment is what is now. And you might be experiencing great calm and ease, or desire, wanting, or disliking. You might be experiencing impatience and restlessness. There might be worry or sloth and torpor, dull sleepiness. There might be doubt, despair, dispiritedness, all normal experiences on the journey. One of the great early insights that grows upon itself year after year is that all these experiences are not fundamentally who we are. They are life unfolding. No matter what you are experiencing, it's possible to notice that experience as an object. And this subject is that which knows, that which is aware, that which is the Buddha. Right here, right now, not sometime in the future. The body contains countless sensations, doesn't it? There are the regions of the feet and the legs, the pelvis and genitals, the abdomen and the chest. They're all alive. They are life. The back, the fingers and hands. The hands are certainly life. And the arms and shoulders. There's the neck, and the jaw, and the cheeks, and the lips, and the nose, and the eyes. There's the tongue inside the mouth. The scalp, the ears, there is this whole cloud of life which is the body. And there is that which knows it. And they arise together. And in honor of Ruth Denison, who was a great master of creativity in the Dharma, I invite you now to inhabit your non-dominant hand. Suddenly there will be a lot of awareness there. And then notice what it takes to prepare, and then bring that non-dominant hand, the fingers of that hand, to that which you call your face, but with a special intention. Touch this face with the hand of the most beloved, touching the most beloved. Touch this face. Perhaps this face you're touching has survived a severe case of COVID-19. Finally has come out of the front door of the hospital. You can touch them. Or maybe they were trapped somehow, somewhere for a year, unable to get home. This is the face of the beloved. How much love can you express to this face? It's all about presence, isn't it? It isn't any particular movement or activity. It's just, oh, it's you. It's you. The world is a little more complete for a bit. And recognizing this is what we each call my face. We can be loving simply through our caring, attentive presence. What more is there? Touching. And now letting that non-dominant hand find its way down to meet its partner. And let them touch in this same way. Oh, it's you. It's you. I'm not taking you for granted right now. You, my one-of-a-kind mirror image. And now please bringing awareness into the capacity to think, to intend. Let us send a loving wish, a loving intention to everyone sick with COVID-19 right now. To everyone who's being very cautious about passing it on or not passing it on. To those who disbelieve that it's a real thing. To those who live in abject poverty. To those who live the black experience in America, 400 years of enslavement and oppression. To those whose conditioning is to be oppressive. To the police, politicians. To ourselves in our own ignorance of our conditionings that contribute to the terrible splits in the culture. This is called metta, the great love. And when metta encounters suffering, it turns spontaneously to compassion. So let us have great compassion for ourselves. Being a human being is really hard. Way harder than we let on. And now I invite you to let your eyes open and see. And in my case, there you are. Four complete screens of beautiful human beings who are willing to wake up early a little bit and to stop and to face into what's real. It was true in the time of the Buddha, and it's true now, and it will always be true that this kind of practice will never be a mass movement because it's too challenging. It really requires that we face into ourselves. We discover the amount of dukkha in the world. Thank you, Jim. I believe you posted the Mr. Rogers quote, and we'll send it out to Connections. That's great. I have my usual invocation. If you look on the chat, you will find a connection to the Dana, the practice of Dana link on the portlandinsight.org website. And so if these broadcasts are really helpful to you, then I encourage you to support the center. But, oh, I should read that. Yeah, I will. Hang on. It'll just take me a second to find it, I think. Very wonderful teaching from Marshall Rosenberg. See, if I can find it quickly, I will read it to you. Hungry Duck, I think it's called. Here it is. I found it. Yay! I did a weekend workshop with Marshall Rosenberg, and they had printed cards with this printed on them. It's the proper way to make a request. Please fulfill my request only if you're giving from the heart, joyfully. You are doing it from your need to contribute to life. If it meets some other need of yours, please do not fulfill my request if you are doing it out of guilt, shame, or obligation, because you think you should to gain my affection or acceptance, or because you're afraid of how I will react if you don't. Now that's a lot of freedom, isn't it? And then there's a summary statement, which is easier to remember. Please fulfill my request only if you can do it with the delight of a small child feeding a hungry duck. So, and where'd you go, Alicia? I see you. There you are. Would you like to chime in here with your message? Want me to unmute you? That's interesting. There you go.
There I am. Thank you, Robert. I would like to chime in. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Alicia. And many of you received a message by email from me yesterday about a new GoFundMe campaign that I've established, and I wanted to follow up here and say a few words about that. So some of you may have heard me say that I'm from Michigan, and I found all of you by dint of the pandemic and all of the resources that are now available online and information online and so forth. And I happen to live in an area where a Sangha is not readily available to me. And so being here with Robert and all of you every day has been really a gift, and has meant so much to me, and has really become a foundational element of my daily life. So I was so thankful and relieved to hear that Robert planned to continue these broadcasts even after access to the PIMC Center is reestablished, because that would be hard for me to get to. Certainly not on a daily basis. So being from Michigan, I naturally think about winter, which here we call October. And I know it's not quite so harsh in Portland, but nevertheless, thinking about this gathering going forward really got me to thinking about the weather and, how it's going to be that much more difficult to continue these meetings as the elements become more of a concern. And I also realized that all of this that happens here comes to us by way of Robert's willingness to set up and break down the whole technological system on a daily basis. So I really felt as though there had to be a more sustainable, durable solution for this broadcasting that we all enjoy. So that was the genesis for this GoFundMe campaign. And I will post a link to it shortly on the chat. I wanted to assure all of you that the plan has been fully vetted with Robert and with the board. A number of you reached out to me after my email and said, are you sure this is what Robert wants? It's not a surprise, right? It's not a surprise. And I'll allow Robert to endorse this message if he would like to later. But I know from so many of your comments that this time together has been meaningful for you as well. And so I hope that we can come together as a community and support a sort of sustaining tool for Robert to continue to do these broadcasts with some comfort and ease as we go forward. So the last thing that I would say is that it is the hope that, or it's the intention that this campaign is, for one thing, delimited. It has a specific goal, and once that goal is reached, it's over. It's intended to be in parallel to the efforts of the normal sort of fundraising and donations that happen for PIMC's general operations. So please think of this as a campaign that's sort of in addition to your normal contributions to PIMC. And I invite you to give as you're able. And hopefully by the time winter comes, Robert will be well sheltered from the elements, and we'll have a technological setup that's secure and that he doesn't have to manage every day. So thank you all so much. I will go ahead and I'll post the link, and I'll be updating this message here as we move along through the campaign. Thanks again.
Hey, Alicia?
Yes.
For those who weren't on your email list, you haven't actually mentioned what it is the GoFund campaign would fund.
I'm sorry. Right. So the campaign is called Out of the Tent into a Tough Shed. And after consultation with Robert, he said that what would be really helpful is to have a shelter, like a shed, that would be part in his backyard, and would just be a sort of separate, like a broadcasting studio, essentially, is what the funds will go toward. And we put together a budget for it, and then we built in a little bit of extra, because as we all know, construction projects are always a little questionable. Anything that we raise over and above the actual costs of purchasing and installing this studio and getting it hooked up electrically will go back to PIMC directly. So thank you, Stephanie. Sorry.
Thank you, Alicia. And even though I know about it, it still is a surprise, and it's been here's the tears. As I discovered with my brain surgery, and as people rose to the occasion to help me pay it turned out it was $12,000 in unreimbursed medical costs, having Medicare coverage, enhanced Medicare. Our country is we're not kind to people being sick. Anyway, I have a lot of difficulty accepting this, that I can make do in a tent. I love my tent, and so I've taken it to the board twice, and it took their encouragement to say, Robert, this really makes sense. So I really appreciate the effort, and I hope it works. It'd be really nice. I am getting a little tired of the tent. It was so, it is still kind of, I don't know, what's the word? It's nice. I love tents. But it's getting hot and challenging, so thank you very much.
Alicia, I just thank you. As I donated yesterday, as an interior designer, I'd already visualized this in my mind, and there it was. And so thank you for taking my vision Or
Thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah. And Tough Sheds,
Alicia?
Tough Shed will build it prefab, and then they bring it and they install it, and then it'll be insulated, and there's a window, 2 windows, and then we'll have some electricity run to it, and then somehow or another we'll finish the interior over time. So
Well, what about the electrical equipment? Because don't you have to transport all of that out of your house every morning and set it up and then take it down?
yeah, there will be power to it, and there will be a lock on the door, so I'll be able to leave it all set up.
Ah. Well, I have one other question, and that is, Alicia, where are you planning to put the hot tub? Robert has to have a
It's-
hot tub.
It's been there. It's been there since the beginning. So, thank you.
I hadn't factored that in, but I'm going to leave that to others that are more proximate to figure that piece out.
Actually, it does involve the power that goes to the hot tub, because it should cost much less, because there's an extra circuit that's on the outside of the house that I think the electrician can just pick that up and run it underground. So it should be, much less expensive. It's funny.
So any
Robert,
questions,
wait a minute.
you can let me know by email. I don't want to cut anyone off, but if you do have any questions and you have gotten my email, please just let me know.
Robert, it doesn't matter what it costs. It'll get done.
Thanks, Russell. Being seen and valued and loved is really challenging. It is. It's really.
Robert, I have a question about how to get on the mailing list if you didn't receive an email. Is that like through Avi on the website?
Well, I'm surprised that where the mailing list came from. Everyone who signed up to get the link for this gathering left their email, and that was the source of the emails. So if someone is here not being, if somehow you're here and you didn't get the email from Alicia, please, Alicia, would it be okay if they send you their email? I can't hear you. You're muted. Unmute.
Sorry about that. Yes, I just posted my email to chat. So anybody who would like to get in touch with me, please do, and I'm happy to resend the email.
So, love. How can we carry that idea further into our day? Being fully present. Michael and Jessica just wrote, it's very possible your email went to spam or another folder. Ah, yes.
So also I'll be posting daily the link. So if you don't catch it today, you can catch it in the future. But yes, I'm happy to send the email to anyone who didn't already receive it. If you contact me at my email address, which I realize did not actually post to everyone, but now is posted. So.
One of my concerns about this project is that, as you mentioned, Alicia, that if people would think of this as in addition to your support for PIMC, because the primary need is to keep the center strong and flourishing. And so.
That's right. We we're hoping that this is just a sort of a parallel campaign for a certain period of time, and once we reach our goal, we'll have our shelter, we'll have our broadcasting center, and yes, beneath all of that, of course, is the giving to PIMC. So we, encourage everyone to do that as well, and always the sort of sustaining gift of a monthly donation is always the most helpful for operational planning, or for planning monthly operations or planning ahead.
And speaking of the center, I'm meeting 2 fellows there today who are creating a documentary about our return to PIMC. And they're about the broadcasting from the tent. So theoretically, they're going to come here and get over there and do some video here in the tent. But they're fellows who have done several international documentaries, and they're looking to show PIMC's coming back to life in the center as a paradigm for what's it been like for communities coming back together, and what's the suffering of isolation been. So it's really neat. Oh, and my book is at the publisher, and I don't know what the timeline is, but the next thing is that it appears published. Months, I think, 2 or 3 months. So, anybody else have anything to share? Please. It's starting to rain.
If you don't mind, I just wanted to say something.
Sure. Hello, Natalie.
Hi. I've wanted to come to this for many years, and this is the first time that I've come, and I feel much gratitude and a lot
Yay.
of joy.
Yay. Are you in Portland?
Yes.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
And how brave of you to say something. Really? How cool. Thanks.
This is Terry in Seattle, and can you just, for those that don't know, could you just maybe say a little bit about your book?
Yeah.
Or a lot?
Well,
Thank you.
it's a book. It's a book taken from my talks. It was 5 years in the work. It's Laura Musikansky. Really, she goaded me into doing it, and she listened to my talks beyond what makes sense to for any human being, I think, and she transcribed and compiled and shuffled it into chapters, and then we together went through and worked on every single word in the book. And it's got the life of the Buddha in it, and it really is right out of my talks. So you will recognize me in it. And I had a really hard time with it. The unworthiness beast comes in, And I really had I stalled in every possible way, and she just kept saying, well, we need to get back to it. We need to get back to it. And then when I went away to the beach on a couple of occasions and worked on it, and that was very helpful. And in the end, I came to really like it. I think it's a rather beautiful book. It's very simple, and I think it will help a lot of people get started in practice for sure. So it's being published by Wipf and Stock in Eugene, and there isn't yet any planning for how to market it. It'll be in the usual places, but I'm being encouraged to talk with a publicist about that, and I don't know whether I'll do that or not. But So it's coming.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Goodbye, Stephanie. Thanks for the email. Have a wonderful course out of Kathmandu. Natalie comes to us from Doha.
Good morning, Robert. It's Trisha.
Tricia, hi.
Hi. Just another announcement I wanted to make is that the group that's been working on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to say it?
No. I want you to say it, please.
Okay. On the racial justice piece that we're starting to build a group around. A lot of people have expressed interest in doing a group for working through the book Me and White Supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to start that this coming Monday from 7 to 8:30 via Zoom. And it's very soon that it's happening, so we just wanted to let you know, and there should be an announcement coming out from Tiffany Baker on connections about that, hopefully today. So the first meeting, you don't have to have read anything already, just show up and we will go over the format and how we're going to do everything, and then you'll have another week or so to get the book and start reading it. So if you have any questions about that, I guess you can email me or email Tiffany, and we'll go from there.
I will try to get something from that on the website too, so it's easy to find.
Great. Thank you.
Pretty exciting time. There's just a question from Patrick. Robert, you talk about your old friend, the breath, but the sensation of the heart beating in my chest is deep as well. Is there room in meditation for the heart as well? You betcha. If you have access to that that astounding, why not hang out with that? Why not? I mean, there's a lot of life in the hands, in the thumbs, in the index finger. There's no reason not to use that as a home base. Just abide in the life of the hands, and when the mind wanders, come back to there. Our purpose in using these various regions is to develop some mindfulness and concentration and the other 7 enlightenment factors. And then gradually we dissect it all and we discover it's all the same thing. It's all change. It's all change, and there is no one home. It's doing itself. And the heart is a marvelous exemplar of that. So yeah, go for it. It's actually a pretty remarkable thing how we have the capacity to wall off, to not notice the heart beating. And many people, mostly on retreat, I've experienced this. They'll come in and they're kind of in wonder and maybe in terror. It's like, oh, I can feel my heart. Because there's some way that we're shielded from feeling that, but it's always there. And it's loud. It's a big thing going on in there. All, and then sometimes folks discover you can feel your heart beat in your hands or in the back of your leg, or it's everywhere. I guess it's everywhere until it's not. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can pull something up here. I got yesterday. This would be fun. If there's a question, please feel free to ask that while I fiddle. Messages. Oh, there it is. Here it is. Now, can I get it to you? Oh, and that's frustrating. Okay. You're here. See this? I hope you can see that. Can you?
Yes, I can see that.
Oh, good. Thank you. All right.
Charlie Brown.
I'm looking for you. Where are you? Huh. There's always a risk to doing something like that. Ah, there we are. Well, it's a little after 8. My mouse has disappeared. Oh, there it is. Any last sharing anyone would like to do before we go?
This is Lisana.
Hello, Lisana.
I'm also new to the community.
Ah,
And,
well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. It's great. I'm very appreciative. It's clear that there is a tremendous amount of kindness, gentleness, and real deep love. Thank you, all of you.
And is that a bird?
Oh, that is my bird. Yes, it's my parrot.
Is Parrot coming to see you? Right? Is the parrot loose?
Yes, yes.
Wow, too cool.
You're quiet. He won't fly away.
Look at that.
Yeah, he doesn't meditate particularly well.
I see. Wow. From whence are you coming to our screens?
The Silicon Valley. So my home sangha is with Gil Fronstal
Sure.
at IMC in Redwood City.
Yeah, lovely. Huh.
So thank you
Well,
very much. Be well.
a great pleasure. And somehow I find the parrot very humorous. It's like,
Very good.
how
His name is Tashi.
Tashi. It's a good Tibetan name.
Yes. And the only thing that he can do is screech and laugh.
I see. Well, that's not a bad repertoire. Wow. How remarkable to have that creature living in your home.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Oh, look. Oh, now we're the object of observation. Hello.
Yes. Tashi, what do you think?
Hi, Tashi. Rah, rah, rah.
Actually, he usually flies away from the computer, so you
I
should
see.
feel honored.
Oh, I bow to Tashi. Tashi. All right, dear friends, coming back to this large view. Please have a lovely day, and I will look forward to our presence together again tomorrow morning. And let's unmute everybody. Are you there, Stephanie? I haven't seen you. Oh, I hear something.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Hang on. Let me get you in my. There we go. All right. Here we go. I'm going to unmute. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear friends. Have a nice, safe day. Remember to wash your hands.
Enjoy your day.
Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye, Kat.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, Bee.
Thank you, Alicia.
Hi, Allison.
Bye, Had. Hi, Sherry. Have a good day.
Still in
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Nice to see everybody. Thank you,
Bye,
Roger.
Sherry.
Alicia.
Goodbye, dear friends on Facebook and YouTube. Looks like the broadcast went well.